our program in the newsroom. Yeah, we are here again with a discussion on issues that has to do with the entire polity called Nigeria. Now, there is this allegation trending about a plot to stop the use of beavers in a future election, and the alleged plot seeking up to sack the INEC chair. This is coming from a coalition of united political parties. Then secondly, we are going to look at the insecurity as the northern governors and traditional rulers from the north are now calling for creation of state police. Now, it seems the ardent critic of the creation of state police are now calling for what could be responsible for this. When we get to the program, my guests are here already with me to deal with the issue. Then thirdly, we are going to look at the claim by Nigerian Army that we are tracking terror sponsors. That is coming from Nigerian Army. Why is it now? They are now tracking terror sponsors. The terrorism has been with us, divining all possible solutions. But the army is now coming out now. Where are they before now? Why are they now telling us that they are tracking terror sponsors? They should have been doing this even before now. Yeah, my guests are here with me. One more with me, ever present. You are welcome on the program.
Thank you so very much. We have some viewers and too. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Sheyi Adeniyi is also here in the house with me. Sheyi, you are welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon to our viewers at home.
While we continue to expect the third guest, whether he will come, let's start the programs in earnest. Now, with the number one issue on our agenda today, plots to stop use of beavers, sack INEC chair, coalition of united political parties alleged. Wale, this is an allegation, a weighty one for that matter. Why should some people be plotting to stop the use of beavers in spite of the successes that have been recorded through this technology?
There is, I would say, nothing can really shock me in this country anymore. Because if you look at it and say, and you dismiss it outrightly, at the end of the day, you may discover that you are wrong. And sometimes you discover that there is no smoke without fire. These people have made an allegation. But my own thing about it is that it's better for us. The beaver thing is a technological device. If it's not working fine, like it could happen to apps and things like that, I think the best thing is to look at it and say, okay, why is it not working optimally? Let's look at a way to fix it. There's no point in abandoning it, because one way or the other, it has that device has strengthened our electoral process, because it validates the voter. At least you know it's going to record you with your picture and everything that you have voted that day. So that's an improvement on what we were doing manually before. And nobody will want a situation whereby we go to the manual thing where people can manipulate and do sort of things. If they say, okay, we have a problem somewhere along the line, maybe through INEC people want to, there should be a way to do it in such a way that even the INEC staff won't be able to manipulate it. So if we get to that junction, I think it will be better. The idea of saying, let us scrap it. If you scrap it, you want to, where are you going to start all over again? Okay. I think the beavers is an improvement on what they were doing before. And it was okay, let's verification. But this one will actually record it and ensure that you are the owner of the voter's card is actually the person that voted, and he or she has voted at the right polling unit. So there shouldn't be any reason to have issues with such beavers.
Okay.
So if there's anything that is not doing fine or wrong with it, let's correct it.
All right. Sheyi, now plots to stop use of beavers. Is it that some people are not comfortable with the use of the technology for our electoral process?
Thank you so much. I think the first thing we need to identify in this issue is that actually, like you said, the Coalition for United Political Parties raised the allegation that some politicians are planning to making a plot to stop using of. And we should not forget that using either beavers or any other device is a product of legislation, so it has come to stay. So whoever that's planning that to stop using beavers or any other technology that might be used or might be deployed by the INEC, we have to go back to the National Assembly to amend the constitution that that has established that we now use, now aside from using the manual way, should use technological device also to back up what we are doing manually before. So it's a product of legislation. So nobody can, they cannot stop that. So it's now within the discretion of the commission to now choose which device to be used for the election. So that's number one. Number two, if you check our trajectory from 1999, our voting pattern, there has been sporadic improvement in our voting pattern. Go like this one person will vote like 3, 4, 5 times in a particular election. You are together in this country. We use this palm kernel to not government to reach so they used to cast votes. That was there. But now, like I said in my piece this morning, this election, the election, I saw where the notable, the big men, the prominent politician will become powerless in the election. Because you know that the man who cause trouble in your polling unit, the result of that will be cancelled. And you have nothing to record. And everybody is local. So if you are claiming that you're a leader of a particular local government and you are not able to win your ward, your units, your local government, you are not a leader. So you have to be very careful. So now coming with that, I don't think that would be possible. My own opinion.
All right.
That some men will want to use it because it's a product of legislation.
All right. Thank you. Now let's as we are aware, the plot is not only about beavers. There's also a plot to sack the INEC chairman. According to this CUPP, Wale, what could INEC chairman have done wrong to warrant some people plotting against him?
Well, for me, I think CUPP is a body made up of political parties.
Yes.
And in a season like this, you see people coming up with all sorts of allegations. Because I don't see the reason why anybody will turn with the idea of sacking the INEC chairman. What has he done? The man, at least to the best of my knowledge, has been up and down, trying as much as possible to ensure that he cleans up our electoral process. So that, because it has gotten to a point in this country that a lot of people, look at the last registration in Osun State. The number of people registered in Osun alone is more than all of the people that were registered in Southeast. It means that people have come to realize that now our votes will count. It's because of these beavers. It's because of the assurance by the man that don't worry. INEC is moving towards a situation whereby nobody will be able to manipulate the election. Because until we get to that point, it will be difficult for us to ensure that the principle of one man, one vote is institutionalized.
Okay.
It will be difficult to have a situation whereby politicians will have respect and regard for the voters.
Okay.
It will be difficult to have a situation whereby the voters, who are the king on election day, will now say, Mr. Hay, you are falling short of our expectation. We are not sending you to that House of Reps. We are not sending you to that House of Assembly again. Go back to your house. Because that is the essence of democracy.
Yes.
That people should be able to, in most cases, let's be realistic, the people may make their own choice. But we should not, even when we talk about enlightened self-interest, prevent the people from making their choice. That is not democracy. So every other thing that we'll be doing, we must ensure that the people triumph at every election cycle. We recorded that turnout for voters' cards because people now feel that before then we are not even voting. They don't count our votes, they will just write it. But now they are sure that nobody can write any figure anymore. So I think it's a gradual process.
Right.
I think we are moving forward.
All right, thank you. Sheyi, sacking of INEC chair has been maybe alleged by the CUPP. What is it that could have prompted some individuals to now be trying to get rid of the INEC chairman?
I think one thing we need to understand is that in Nigeria, it's a country, and our politicians sometimes tend to raise unnecessary tension. However, we cannot just disregard what the CPP are saying or saying regarding the removal of INEC chairman. But I have not been able to meet with the INEC chairman, but I was opportune to meet with him during this Osun gubernatorial election. So because there was a stakeholders meeting where he came alongside with other commissioners and national commissioners to Osun. So I was part of the meeting, and he announced public to us the numbers of voters that have collected their PVCs and those that are yet to collect. And he also made some other promises which he later fulfilled in the just election. So I think to me, and one thing we should do as a people is at least to tend to appreciate good intention and good intention. If you look at the trajectory of those that have been the other chairman in Osun, in Nigeria, they've been able to one way or the other, put something in place that people can see that this is an improvement. Jega, it was during Jega we had card reader. So we know that it was described some anomalies, some atrocities being used by card reader. This present administration of Mahmoud Yakub introduced beavers, and to me, and I've been saying it, to me the introduction of beavers into our listeners contributed immensely to strengthen our democracy. So, and we should not forget that if you have been the receiving end, being a politician, you want to make your ways to when politicians are seeing failure, that is a failure, they want to maneuver their ways to not for that failure to happen on the day of election. But that has gone under this present administration of Yakubu. So, and those individuals, those politicians will not be looking for ways to get him out of, and you should not forget, even in 2015, some people in the government of Jonathan made attempts to make sure that President removed Jega before that election. When they thought it's not doing that bidding, it's not easy. And what if you want to get it right, the selection and or election or electing our leaders must be left in the hands of masses. It is the masses on the day of election, masses are the employers. they would want to employ him to be the governor, to be the president. Okay. So, but plotting that, to me, I want to believe, just like you said, just allegation, just let me believe it's an allegation. Yakubu, as far as I'm concerned, has not committed any offense. And it should be left to, it should allow him to do his job.
All right, thank you very much. Now, let us assume that it's just an allegation. Let's assume it's an allegation. But Wale, what effect could this kind of allegation have on our electoral process and the entire society? And how do we nip this kind of wild allegation in the bud?
The CUPP come out to make that allegation. But the other point that I want to make is that they've not been able to substantiate it. Intelligence report from where? You should be able to say that, okay, from at a particular point in time, Mr. A, we had that Mr. A and Mr. B met at so and so hotel.
Yeah.
That was where they decided that this course of action should be taken. So, by having said that, like I said earlier on, there's no smoke without fire. They've raised the allegation. Maybe those people who wanted to do it, they say, this matter is in the open now. They will go back to the drawing board and say, okay, it seems as if we won't be able to use this because these people have raised the allegation, they've blown it open. So, like we mentioned earlier, politicians are, I'll call it tantrums. They just throw tantrum. Let's give them something to be thinking about. Let's assail their integrity. So that could be the case. But whatever is it, we should be moving towards cleaning up that electoral process. Right. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Right. Because removing Jega will not solve the problem. Mahmoud Yakub will solve any problem.
All right. Seyi, either for good or for bad, what effect can this have on the society?
You mean the removal of the
the allegation, the entire allegation. What effect?
I said it is in two ways.
Okay.
Maybe some people somewhere are planning to carry it out. Now that they have been made to make public, so maybe they will not go back to their but to. But I want to believe that sincerely, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has tried a lot to in fact, because I interacted with some of the eminent officers here in Osun.
Okay.
And they refuse so many things that are happening within the commission.
Okay.
And some of them is that this present chairman has not been able to, for once, deny them of their benefits. Maybe in promotion or in entitlement or he has been doing it. And one thing that we used to say in Yoruba is when you say, so when we are doing promotion, but not when there is not to be productive. You get it? So this beyond conducting election, beyond giving us beyond strengthening our democracy, within the commission, the chairman has been able to try to make sure that he puts smiles in the face of his staff. So for me, we should allow him to finish is what he has been doing. And as we speak today, unless we have any other ulterior motive by the politicians, the man has been not doing nice. He has been doing perfectly well. More especially if we see the statement from the president, Muhammadu Buhari after the completion of Osun election, he said Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun election shows that the people's vote can still count and count. So for that, it's a plus to the commission. So there's no reason for us to raise unnecessary attention.
All right, thank you, Seyi. Now, gentlemen, let's move straight to the second topic for our discussion today: insecurity. Northern governors, traditional rulers back creation of state police. Wale, let me start with you. Now, if northern governors and traditional rulers who are always criticized the creation of state police whenever the idea is mooted
there are times people take a stand, probably based on their fears, probably based on losing out.
Okay.
If that course of action is eventually taken.
Okay.
Without prejudice to whatever reasons that the northern governors, or particularly the northern traditional rulers, they have against state police. But the issue is, what is the reality on the ground now in the north? In fact, a lot of people who are in the north who will not tell us lies. They keep on saying that there is an internal war going on in the north. But the situation is so bad that, one, you can't go to your farms. And when you look at the population of the north, one thing that will start an insurrection is when food is not available. And we are moving gradually towards that. A lot of things are happening in that axis. But because they have containment strategy, that's why we don't get it in the media. The situation is bad. I saw a clip, I think sometimes last year, not shortly after the Emma of Kano was removed. Okay. These are Manjiri boys, they mobilized in their thousands. They started storming the mosque. The central mosque where the Emma used to worship. And when you look at the situation of things in the north, that thing especially is an indication that there's a serious problem in part of the country. But the Emmas, for them, are next to God.
Yes.
So if they can come out and defy whatever the security people, in fact, we even saw the security people, they ran away
from the scene.
Yes. No, if we are just 10 there and you see a mob of maybe 10,000 and they know what will happen to them, the 10 will get killed and nothing will happen. They ran away. Maybe later they now mobilize. But the issue at hand is that these traditional rulers are now getting the signals. That is, the north will not be the same again. I lived in the north before. The north can never, and will never be the same again. Because of what the north has passed through in recent years. It's so bad. People want to walk. Even in the south here, you see, yes, we are apprehensive and we have every cause to be. Majority of those boys, because some of us are in Agri, you know that majority of those boys that we see, maybe some riding Okada, we are once on the farms. But they couldn't farm there anymore. It's not, when we do our initial reaction was that they are Boko Haram fighters. Yes, there's the reason for us to be apprehensive. Yes. But the truth of the matter is that those boys are looking for ways to earn a living. At least 40% of them, or 50%, are looking for honest means to survive. And when you go to some of these big filling stations, I saw it in Ibadan. I don't know of Rano here. Okay. The number of people who sleep within that place, because I was around that place around 8:45. They couldn't have been less than 200.
Sleeping on?
Yes, sleeping.
At the filling station,
they were there. Some packed their Okadas, maybe some have gone to do one job or the other. So the level of insecurity in the north is so alarming that it has gotten to a point that the traditional rulers themselves know that they are already sitting on the keg of gunpowder that could blow open. And when we the reason why they would have been so vehemently opposed to state police. The current federal police that we are talking about, how efficient is the current federal police? How efficient are they? If you know somebody from Kano and you bring it to Oshogo, where does he know where? Doesn't know anywhere. And you want him to police, you want him to be an intelligence officer, to go to bed, to go to one corner. It will not just work. Because we started, and it has to do with the structure of this country. We started as a federal state. The unitary thing has damaged everywhere, everything. Because I could recollect, as young as I am, that I know the native police. These are the local government police. Down that ladder, the local government police. They were saying in the 60s, they use them to terrorize. They will have been better by now. By now. Because we will refine those things. And the issue with our police is that it is the colonial police. Up to tomorrow. It is the mindset with which they were working in those days. That's it. They don't see people they relate with as citizens. The whole police, the colonial police was, what they do is that they let them see an average Nigerian as somebody who doesn't even have rights.
An average Nigerian that happens to be their kid and king.
That's the problem. And nothing has been done over the years, even when you go to their training institutions, to ensure that they are trained to say that this is a civil organization. The police are a military outfit. It's a civil security organization. The police should be close to the people. The police should be friends to all of us. But they are not. Because they still carry that colonial mentality. It's a colonial police. We are going to arrest him. It's against the state. We can lock him up.
All right.
That's it. So, if we are, at that time, we had the native police. Why are we afraid of a state police?
All right. Thank you, Wale Sheyi. Now, the northern elite, the governors and transitional rulers, calling for creation of state police after they have opposed it all along. What do you have to say?
I think I would say you're buying here. So we know that it's not on our neck to know what to do now. And I want to borrow from what Omar just said now. That thing, in fact, I got a report this morning. One of my reporters I sent him to Adekiti for an assignment. So he was coming this morning.
Okay.
A mess of police on the way. And the police stopped their car. And in front of their car, there's they saw an Hausa or Fulanima.
Okay.
With two daggers. And they checked. I think he told me that they saw some drugs, like maybe tramadol.
Okay.
And the police, many of the people, allowed them to go. And they now stopped my guys. He was trying to be guys. He was trying to call them. Why do you want to stop me? After all, this stop this man. Why you so? So all of them just had another man coming from the back.
Yeah.
And the police officers, you are stupid. He was telling my guy, you are stupid. Why are you killing us? Are you the one that put us here? You are very stupid. Why arrest him? So now stood that this is my idea. Why you arrest me for that? So just to buttress us that this mentality of they don't see us as same person. Those are citizens that they should respect. That's what that. And secondly, it's not only that about the post no here. It's one of that we are advocating for state police and all of us together. We cannot, for example, on Sunday, I was in Abekiti. Okay. So I was to sleep at this town, Otuekiti. So there's a particular hotel they serve for us. I don't know the place. So I have to be calling to make inquiries about the place. Okay. In fact, when I got to Otun, just small boy like, should be more than 15 years of age. I just call, I'm going to this house. I will get to this place, get to a particular location. There's no way you can operate.
Yes.
Just to tell us, even if as me, I'm put to be a policeman, that I posted or to go and carry an operation. So I have to ask. So I don't know if I should ask, maybe the person I want to ask from is the one that is, conducting anything and waiting for those criminals. So if you're not familiar with the particular thing, it's difficult to operate. That is what we are facing today. But our rulers, our leaders, they don't see. They are afraid of this issue of if you give a state police, the government may be using them to terrorize or that. To me, I see just to be the handiwork of our the political class, the ruling class, because they know how they do it. If the battle is not on their side, I think RMB is planning to arrest me or to use the state apparatus to terrorize. But not until we are not ready as a people to now pursue that this thing will lead it. And as we speak today, federal police cannot work any longer. We've tried it, we've seen failure. But I don't know why our leaders will just keep trying something that have been failing, consecutively, that we should be trying it. You have said that this thing cannot work any longer. And we still say, don't worry, we'll do it. These are we are losing people every day. Now that the northern ones they are now calling for state police, I think if they now join their voice with that of the south, maybe our leader will now think, and most especially the government of Buhari, President Muhammadu Buhari, maybe we want to use that one to also to tell us that he's leaving behind a very good legacy. That after all, you've given me your mandate to serve you for 8 years, so go now. You saw what President Jonathan did. That's why he has the power to say no, this election cannot continue. But for him to leave a good legacy, he stepped aside to allow the person to take over. Maybe this government also, if the northern leaders are now making it mandatory, now making it as a duty for them also to call for state police, so maybe the president will now look in that direction to allow to have for our law to allow state police. And we need it. Nothing we can compare to that. We need it. Take for example, see this Amotekun, and even in the southwest. And it's Africa. Those of we still have some of the elements of within them that are still overseeing us. But nevertheless, we still have good numbers of them that are doing right. They are doing permanently well. They are giving us good updates every day. So, and if you cannot borrow from them, if you cannot compliment on that, then there's nothing says we cannot have. Okay, there should be laws. If you are not afraid because of the election, because that is the most important thing for the politicians. Election, so absolutely we had the election without the input or the presence of Amotekun now, and we had a very good election. So if because of that, there should be law also to to put a kind of limits to their powers. But calling for state police, I think it is that overdue for us to have it. We need it as a country, we need it as a nation, and we got up our leaders to do what is right.
All right, thank you very much. Now let's move to the third topic of our discussion. Okay.
You see, the problem we have is that we don't strive to face our fears, and it's very damning. Because if you are talking about state police, we already have state police.
How?
Good. The concept of Amotekun is state police. It's as a result of the failure of the federal police that we have Amotekun and the neighborhood watch in Lagos. If you talk about neighborhood watch in Lagos, they don't employ somebody living in Ogba to come and be part of neighborhood watch in Lucy. It's not possible. You must live within your vicinity. And you see, there are certain things that the federal government keeps putting so much on itself that very soon, if care is not taken, it's going to collapse. When they were talking about community policing, I thought they've done their own work very well. But it was to my charging that some people protested here. They don't pay us anything. They said, we never said we are going to pay them.
The constabularies.
Yes. I said even in advanced countries, can't be doing such a job without stipends. And these are people you put on the road. They come to your police station and you come out and be saying rubbish that you never you said it's people who have been working. So if I want to join the community police now, I will leave maybe my work by 4 o'clock. I will now go to a police station. I will take transport there and do all that throughout the month, and I will do it for free.
Okay.
Okay. The issue is if they say they tell the Amotekun guys it's voluntary, you won't see anybody. Right. Look at what the hunters did. Look at what they are doing.
Yeah.
This is an indication that if we are going to have a state police in Osun State, they already have people who are already doing the job on the field.
Okay. Now, based on what Wale has said now, does it mean that the federal government has jettisoned the idea of community policing?
I think, I want to believe truly that what you just said is true. And if you now look at the body language of the formation of our police, they don't want anything that maybe rivalry or they don't seems to be okay with it. Because I was surprised because I have to, the day these constabularies protested, I have to call some, echelon in the police to ask that what was the agreement between the police and there was any agreement. They're just doing it. I was like, they're just doing it. Even if you want to do Father Christmas, there should be limits to that. And these are people that they are not doing other work. It's not that because they are in this somewhere, maybe they are collecting salary somewhere. That they are this, but at least I know of people when I do apply one day to Shobu on the market that know how these customers how do the work. I now tell them that they know that was, but I asked them that who kitted them, who give them this info? They said the police. So you have the money to produce this one for them. They don't have any other, and it is the government and the community that recommended them for. So I think the government or the federal government also, if truly they want to, now that the northern elites are now calling out, maybe they will now see reason why they have to listen to the voice of the people to allow police to work. And if this issue of insecurity I was talking about, if actually they've allowed state police, it's not going to combat before now.
Yeah, all right. And quickly, the issue of this state police, this is how we already have state police that the budget that we call security votes
for governors.
Go and check. 60% is being spent on the federal police. Yeah. It's out of that money that they buy these operational cars, buy this, buy that. Even some governments are even kitting them. The federal police. So why are they spending so much? Right. So all those money that they are spending now, if they are state police, they themselves consider themselves state police.
All right, thank you. Let's move to the third topic of our discussion. We are tracking terror sponsors, Nigerian Army. Wale, why is it now that they are tracking terror sponsors? After all, the terrorism has been with us for quite some time. Why is it now that the Nigerian Army is now tracking terror sponsors?
It will be like that. Yeah. Because we are fond of deceiving ourselves in this country. And when there's a problem, instead of us to frontally attack the problem, we'll be dancing around it. And without fear of contradiction, the war on terror has become a big business. I know that much. The operational people, they're just there. The top command. There was a time the CNC, who is the president of this country, I think it was during Buratata, ordered all the service chiefs move to. They didn't spend a week there. They all returned to Abuja. I'm telling you.
And nothing happened.
Yes. There was the case of Otoki. Brigadier Otoki, Oti or cash, like $100 disappeared. That is meant for the Brigadier Otoki. For the welfare of the trade force. And there are a lot of reports
using one device to do that, it's easy to also for us to track. If as an individual, it's what you can do, not talk of government. Because after God, the next, then we found the government. So there's no reason. And now coming out to tell us, and immediately President Buhari came in. When I do say that, I'm going to say that one of the reasons why Nigeria gave Buhari their mandate is that he said he will fight the security, that they just give him 6 months. Immediately in his speech, he directed all the security chiefs to relocate to Maiduguri. That is, go and meet them, go and fight them, go and kill them. So after that, Minister of Defense came out to tell us that they have used one degraded, that they have used one language and they scattered the Boko Haram. They technically defend Boko Haram. Now, what you have now is more than what you witnessed before 2015. Now we are having bandits, we are having kidnapping, and all those things. So that the minister is coming out to tell us, maybe, like you said, maybe it's from the area or from the angle of the terrorists. So now we are tracking the international one, the local one is now in charge. And like I said, I met one very high military officer. He told me that if you want to win this war, you want to start from the presidency. And we cannot just continue to be wasting our people, wasting our resources. I know per soldier, per troop, a troop, you know how much government will spend on training. So and then we just allow you to go and die, and you know that it's going to die. So for us, it's more. I want to charge the president to also please. He should be in charge to. The chief security officer, is the CNC, is the commander in chief. He should give to that, at least for the remaining 5 months. It's just months now. For the remaining months, let us see what you can do to make sure that these people are killed. He has told us that bandits, I don't know whether bandits, they are terrorists. They will be stated as a terrorist. Let us deal with them as a terrorist.
All right, I will take that as your parting word on the program for today. Once I'm private last time. Your parting word.
Well, now that they've woken up with the responsibility of most of the Nigerian, I personally never doubted their operational capabilities. But another thing is this, that you see, we have the DMI, Directorate of Military Intelligence, we have the DSS. We don't have that kind of synergy between those people. That's exactly what the problem is now. Because intelligence gathering belongs more in the area of the DSS. So there should be synergy between the DSS, DMI, and all other agencies, so that there's what we call security pool. You'll be able to put security information there. So for that pool, you can say these people are planning to do so and further. So you don't wait until